Welcome back to hopsgeeknews, where we talk about comic books, movies, TV shows, and we typically feature a beer of the week. I am Matt. With me, as always, is Lauren. In today's episode, D23 just wrapped up last weekend out in Anaheim, and man, it hit with so much news about movies, TV, Marvel, Disney parks. So today, we're going to focus a bit on D23, man. We're going to talk about all the good, maybe the bad, about D23. So what you can do to help us grow the podcast is go ahead, like, subscribe, share, follow, leave a review, leave a comment, help us out on YouTube. We like to go live for Cantina hours, and really just help us out, man, and come interact with us. Join our Facebook group. We're all there. Hops Geek News on any podcasting platform and every social media platform. That's where you can find us. Join our Discord. And typically the way the show works is we talk about what we're drinking, the beer of the week, if you will. And then we dive into what we've been reading or watching, things that we might have messed up on previous episodes. So if you see or hear something that we mess up on and we don't catch, hey, drop us an email, drop us a DM, yell at us. I don't care. Shoot us a text if you know us, and let us know what we messed up on. We'll shout you on the episode. Then we typically go into news before our main topic, but our main topic today is chock full of news. So with that said, I am drinking out of One Family Brewing in Manassas, Virginia. Cool side of the pillow, because there is a lot of cool news. Who doesn't love a good cool side of the pillow? That's how I sleep really good at night, man. And talking Disney, I got my Roosevelt's Disney performance hoodie on. I'm ready to rock and roll. Don't we all like the cool side of the pillow? Loaded with cashmere, New Zealand, Nelson Sauvin hops, the fruitiness of tropical melon, pineapple, peach, and passion fruit. Nice balance with a touch of dankness. This is a hazy IPA coming in at 6.1%. I will have to get to Manassas one day, not only because I'm a nerd and want to see all the battlefields, but because there is a lot of good breweries that come out of there. As I'm finding out, a lot of breweries I get down here are from there. So I will check that out. But let's pull in Lauren, my trusty, amazing, the reason why this podcast is so excellent, to talk about what she is drinking.
I'm actually drinking a beer I got when I was up in Pennsylvania. So this is Hoppy Days, and it's got the little Happy Days gang for any of you. I mean, this show's older than I am.
Oh, I have that in my thing. You didn't tell me. I would have pulled that out too.
Oh, I thought we had already drank it. I say I'm not that old as I'm putting on my readers to read the can.
Yeah,
go grab it. Shotgun the beer you have now and go grab it.
Jesus.
So this is Breaker Brewing Company Hoppy Days Double Dry Hop Double IPA. This is actually quite fantastic. When we were there, I was shocked how cheap the beers were to go. So I had to grab this. And one of the reasons I picked Hoppy Days is because with new rides coming to the Disney parks, because we're going to be talking about movies and some Marvel stuff and some Star Wars stuff that came out at D23, but also a lot of park stuff came out. And if you listen to us for a while, I'm in Orlando. I go to the parks a lot. Matt's a big fan of the parks as well. And we're losing some stuff. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my rest in peace, Tom Sawyer Island. So when we get to that, we'll talk. My name's Tom Sawyer. But I'm also not one of those that's like, oh my God, Walt's rolling over in his grave. I'm all for the new things. Walt's was always said the parks would never be finished. R.I.P. Maelstrom.
Listen, if Walt was really rolling over in his grave, he would have freaked at the first sign of a pride flag, because we all know he wasn't the best guy. So.
I mean, it was also a different time, so who knows?
I know. I'm just trying to.
I didn't even think of that.
Come on, you're ruining my comedy stand-up. This podcast is my stand-up. Come on, no.
And I got my marker ears. Oh, and I got my Big Al glass, but he doesn't sing about blood everywhere anymore.
Not anymore. Not in this world.
Womp, womp. I don't really care that he doesn't anymore, but it was fucking mind-blowing that was still happening. So yeah, let's go. I'm ready to talk some D23. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Well, speaking of the bad, we do have some bad things to clear up real quick, because our good pal Scott, I cannot tell you guys. I'm going to say it. Emails in, man. I'm going to tell you right now. He's the best. When I open up our email and I see Scott has emailed in, I know I'm in for a treat. Yes, I cannot wait to meet him in person, because I misidentified.
I got to meet him at Rock Pit.
You did. And, it's funny that we actually did meet in person, kind of, because I thought he was a security guard entering our panel at MegaCon. But it wasn't, and it was Scott the whole time. So it was really awesome. It's not a mess up per se. It's a fun mention. So one additional item from the episode that we mentioned last week is that it was funny that Deadpool used "Do you want to build a snowman" for cocaine, since it's Disney. And "Do you want to build a snowman" is also mentioned in Deadpool 2 as a reference that it has the same tempo as "Papa, can you hear me?"
I remember that in Deadpool 2 thinking, oh, that's really weird.
I do remember it now that I didn't remember that, but once he said that, I was like, "Oh yeah, I do remember."
Bye. I didn't pick that up on my own, but
Yeah. Yeah.
even though I had literally just watched Deadpool 2 and just watched X-Men 2, I still didn't pick those things up on my own. Sometimes you just need people to point things out. Yeah.
I do too, but no, like, again, shout out, man, Scott is the best once more, like, dude, awesome, awesome. He's a Patreon too, so thank you for supporting the show, man. So let's dive into, what we've been reading or watching. Do you want to take us away first on that?
Sure. So my first thing that I reviewed for Bar Initiative.
Bar Initiative. Actually, that's our new beer-driven blog.
That actually would be pretty good.
Actually, yeah,
Bar
kind of. Can we get
Initiative.
like a sub thing in Nerd Initiative called Bar Initiative, and it's just us reviewing breweries and stuff? That actually, you know what? Let me pencil this down real quick.
So that there was a reason I just did that because I'm looking at my notes without my readers. So the comic I reviewed this week was Barfly, which is part of the Minor Threats world. I am loving this character. So Minor Threats was a two sets of 4-issue runs, so 8 issues total, and it's by Patton Oswalt and Jordan Bloom. They've been the ones to kind of hedge this whole thing. We found the comic in Spain recently and posted that on the Twitter. Those 2 comics were fantastic. They had a spinoff called The Alternates that was out maybe like 8 months ago. Another fantastic one. And at that
Yeah.
point, my favorite character was Crab Louie, who's this giant crab man that's just like the sweetest guy ever. And now meet Barfly. So this is issue 2, just came out. He's part of this Minor Threats world, and he is just the sweetest little punk rock loving anarchist barfly you'll ever meet. He's a literal giant fly, but his wings have been ripped off. He was kind of, they're clearly making fun of Ant-Man a little bit. Not a little bit. They're clearly making fun of Ant-Man because it was this mad scientist that experimented on bugs and kind of was able to like control them and everything. So the dad just got out of jail and right away goes to Barfly and wants him to do his bidding. And Barfly is like so sweet. He has so many friends. His friends are so nice to him. They realize what a nice guy is. He'll do whatever he can for his friends. But of course he falls right back into that daddy issues kind of thing. But what makes this comic and honestly Minor Threats in general, but particularly this one, the background on these and the art in these stories is so phenomenal that like you can follow along on the story and then there's a whole other story in the background art. There's posters on the wall that are hilarious. There's like one scene where the guy's like crying because he lost his job and it literally says tears of unemployment. And you're just getting like just so much out of this one little comic and it's all connected and you never know what's gonna be relevant again in the future. So like I reread Minor Threats before we got to interviewed Patton Oswalt and Jordan Bloom a few months ago, and I picked up on so much more on that second read because I saw the foreshadowing. And when we interviewed them, we learned that a lot of the foreshadowing is not intentional, and sometimes they're just like, "Oh, that was a good idea," or "Oh, I liked that in the background," or "Oh, that I picked up on that one line," and they're just like getting just so creative and you can tell
Right.
they're having so much fun with these stories and I cannot recommend Barfly enough. And as I'm reading it, I'm like, and you see the art with this, giant fly drinking beer at a bar and it's like, I'm like, this is perfect for
Yeah, that's
our podcast
perfect
or a
for
podcast
us.
named Bar Initiative.
Yes. That
Um,
yeah.
oh yeah. I also caught up a little bit on Outsiders by the Hive Mind
Ooh,
this week. Have you
yeah.
caught up on that?
I am an
That
issue
is
behind, but it's really good.
Yeah, I think I finished issue 8 today, so I'm not I think another one just came out. But I, didn't see that turning meta, so that took me
Mm,
by surprise. I don't wanna say anything else. It's a DC comic. It's got Batgirl in it. It's got, Lucius Fox's son is one of the main characters. It's very yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's of course it's funny. I feel like with the Hive Mind, you're always gonna get a little bit of humor in
right,
there.
right.
But it's just, the meta aspect totally threw me, and I really like what they're doing with it. I think it's actually
Same.
pretty cool, and, like, some of the things they're, explaining and everything. And then I read Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not World War III, it's WW3 because it's Wade Wilson 3.
It is.
This is done. It was only 3 issues. I think they intentionally just did it, like,
It
before,
was for
during, and
like
after the
the
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's all Deadpool and Wolverine. The first issue, I was like, this doesn't seem like Deadpool to me. The second issue, you're like, oh, that's why it didn't seem like Deadpool. And then the third issue, you're like, this is Deadpool and Wolverine. So it's only 3 issues. I definitely recommend reading it. It's probably even better if you read them 1, 2, 3, which I wish I had done. I did it month to month to month. But that one, I mean, it's 3 issues, and who doesn't need more Deadpool and Wolverine right now? So what
That's
have you
true,
read this week?
honestly. That is true. I have read personally for nerdinitiative.com. I did DC Vampires. It's DC versus Vampires, World War V. It's issue
A lot
number
of
one.
vampires these days.
Yeah, there is a lot of vampires these days, but it was really good. I mean, pretty much all the heroes we love have been turned into vampires. Some heroes that we love die right away in the opening scenes of this comic, and there's like a pocket of
I like
resistance
when they
out
do that.
there, led by John Constantine, Black Canary, Oliver Queen,
Oh,
and Grodd is working with the Queen vampire, who is Barbara Gordon, which I thought was a cool twist. So all in all, really good. I thought the artwork, there's a
spoilers.
very bloody, gruesome. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of spoiler action, but nothing too much. I didn't think that would like give away a lot. There's nothing like spoiler heavy in that. So I thought that was really good. That was my DC review this week. We both read Werewolf by Night, written by Jason Lowe, who also is getting ready to have Dazzler 4-issue series come out from Marvel. But this is Jack Russell. It's got Elsa Bloodstone. You kind of get reintroduced to where Jack Russell and kind of like a brief of his history while diving into some new stuff. You got the Hood making a return. The art, man, it's the Red Band issue. So like things were really bloody in this, and he rips some people to shreds, and like it's pretty gruesome. There's some really cool scene in particular to me that stood out was when um there's somebody's head gets just like grabbed and squeezed and their eyes bulge out, and it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is crazy. But that was another thing. I did read Geiger issue 5 and reviewed that by obviously Jeff Johns and Brad Anderson, Gary Frank, and Rob Lee. So damn good. And man, this was actually an issue where we see Geiger in a very vulnerable state. Like he doesn't have his power at the moment because something had happened. His power is gone. He's fighting this bad guy called the Electrician. It gets pretty desperate. There was a moment where I thought a character was actually going to die, and it was going to be a very sad because I love this character, and I won't say more than that because I want you guys to read it. But it's on issue 5. Ghost Machine continues to be rolling. We're getting ready for like Hyde Street and stuff to come out this fall, and dude, I really can't
Yes,
wait.
I'm looking forward to First
Cannot.
Ghost.
Yes,
I'm
those
hoping
are
to
getting
grab
ready to
that one
roll
for
out.
review. Yeah, I
Yes.
really want to see First Ghost.
Can't wait. And then the last thing that I read and reviewed was Kill All Immortals by Dark Horse Comics. And Zach Kaplan, who's been on the show before, he wrote it. Tiago Rocha, he did the colors, and Fico, he did the art. It's very, very, dude, this comic book is taking me by storm. Basically, the premise is it's about a family of Vikings that are immortal, and the daughter Freya went and she's with this reporter, and they go to visit her family, and Thor and Eric and I can't remember the third brother's name off the top of my head. I apologize, but
Loki.
yes, actually it is. So
Is it
yes,
really?
duh.
I forget that.
I don't know, man. But basically, they go there in the first issue, and now she's on the run from her family. And issue 2 picks up right where issue 1 left off. It's the action sequences that are like drawn and colored are absolutely insane to be done in a comic. It is bloody. It is very fast paced, but it's very good. Like, oh my goodness, dude! Like, there's a lot of Viking lore, history. It's very adventurous. They're out on this adventure. It's like a big
Well,
grand.
because
It's like
Norway
John Wick.
always means adventure.
Yeah, it's like John Wick meets, like Marvel meets Uncharted, but way bloodier and
Or
things
like
like that. It's
Santa Claus and
yeah,
what's that movie where
it's
the guy from Stranger Things plays Santa?
it's just
Because he was a
like
Viking.
yeah, it's so good, dude.
You
Yeah,
like Santa for this
dude, what the
movie?
heck? Why? Yeah, with
Violent Night.
yeah, it's like Violent Night. Yeah, it's very bloody, but honestly, man, it's so well done. Zach's gonna come on the show probably September, October after another issue, and we're gonna kind of talk about that a little bit. Aside from that, I have been watching How I Met Your Mother, my all-time like comfort show, favorite show. Rewatching that still, it's like supernatural for you. That's how much this show means to me, honestly. And I'm just like you
Probably
with
what
supernatural.
people do for me.
Yeah, I remember exactly what's going to happen, and it got me through some really hard times in life. So we've been rewatching that, but I did watch something new this week. I bought, mind you, no regrets on this purchase,
No regrets.
the digital version of Twisters, starring Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones.
Okay, I have to know. Is there a cow in it?
No, there's no flying cow. But
I'll wait for free.
all right. It's a very good movie. Like I wish I saw this in 4DX. The CGI is really well done. I thought the story for this one was actually a really clever way to use modern times and modern technology. Glenn Powell has a YouTube channel where he chases tornadoes and all this stuff. He's kind of off. He's a tornado wrangler essentially. And Daisy Edgar Jones, she is a former storm chaser turned Weather Channel girl, and I'm not going to go any more into that. But she comes back for reasons that I don't want to spoil, and it's very good. Honestly, like I really like Glenn Powell a lot. He's having the
Dude,
time
but
of
he
his
didn't
life.
come out of nowhere. Like every time when you were talking about Glenn
Top
Powell
Gun.
before, I kept thinking Colin Powell, and I'm like, why is he talking about Colin Powell?
Well,
Wait, what? That can't be
no,
right.
Colin Powell.
Okay, so he was in Top Gun. So
Yeah. Well, it started with like Top
so
Gun, and then after that, he kind of came out of nowhere. And like, obviously, it's interesting to
like
watch him get to act
people are like
opposite of a
obsessed
girl.
with him all of a sudden.
He's 35
He's
too.
what?
He's also 35. Like, that's pretty impressive. Like,
So
I thought he was
he's
older, but
young.
no, he's like my age. Uh, and it's
I
really
always
cool to
assume
see
everybody's
him.
older because I can't fathom any of these people being younger than me.
Well, most actors, especially
But then
male
they are.
actors, don't get big until they're like 40. So I just always assumed he was a guy in his 40s, but no, he's like my age. I was like, oh, wow, stars. They're just like us, except not. And he's
Except for
acting
personal
opposite a
trainer.
girl who actually has life to her, not Sydney Sweeney, who seems like she's bored and half asleep in that movie that I forgot the name of it that they starred in. But he's awesome in this. Daisy Edgar Jones is awesome. The only gripe I have is actually Superman, David Cornsweet's actually in this as well.
Oh, the new Superman.
Yeah. My only complaint is I liked the background actors. That's missing the Philip Seymour Hoffman type character. It's missing that crew. Like that crew is better, but I liked Glenn Powell and Daisy a little bit more than I liked Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. But it's still really well
Oof.
done. I will say that there's one nod to the original film, but other than that, they really didn't acknowledge or talk about any
So
of
it's
the
a
original
complete
film.
remake?
It's not a remake because I guess this isn't like a spoiler that's going to blow anybody's mind. They have Dorothy in the beginning,
Okay.
but that's the only mention to the original movie that you get in
But
this
that could
whole.
be their own
No, it's
Dorothy.
Dorothy. No, it's
Oh, it
Dorothy.
is
It's
Dorothy. Okay.
old. It's Dorothy, but that's the only mention for the original movie that you get in this film, which I'm kind of surprised about. Like I thought for sure maybe her mom would have been like Helen Hunt's character showing up or something. Granted, I know Bill Paxton and Philip Seymour Hoffman have passed away, but you could have brought in the other. I don't know.
That's still like, how can you not at least have a nod to something? Like, I mean, I get you don't want to do the
I had a
over
nod, but
nostalgia and whatnot, but I mean, come on, a little bit more. It's like even in 21 Jump Street, like Johnny Depp showed up. Like, come on.
exactly. Typically, when they do something, they bring in somebody, and who knows? Maybe they asked Helen Hunt, she said no. But I got to imagine the dude from Ferris Bueller or any of these other actors would have been glad to show up and show their
I'm like
face.
the dude
You
from
know?
Ferris Bueller. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
forget his actual name, but yeah, I mean, he was in it, right? Carrie Ellius, he's obviously dead, so he
Yeah, he's
wasn't
in a
making
bunch
an
of
appearance.
stuff.
But you know,
Carrie Yules was in
yeah, I
it. He's still
yeah,
around.
but he died in the original. Remember, he got sucked into the tornado
Oh,
because they
yeah,
didn't
that's true.
listen. But no, like I like the
That's true. Maybe
CGI.
he
I do have some.
survived. We don't know.
Yeah, I do have some scientific questions actually about how this goes, but that's what I've watched. Did you watch anything good? Anything out there before we dive into
I did.
D23?
I do have another thing to say about Minor or about Barfly real quick, which I forgot. So Kyle Starks is actually part of Barfly too. He wasn't part of Minor Threats and the Alternates, but we had Kyle Starks on not long ago,
Yeah,
talking about his comic. Was it Karate Prom? I'm getting
it
all of them mixed
was.
up. We've interviewed so many people. Karate Prom was
We've
fantastic. Okay, that's what I thought it was.
it was Karate Prom. Yes,
Uh, so he's all a part of this. And if you have any interest in reading these comics, now's the time to do it because it is going to be made into a Netflix series.
it
It's
is.
going to be fantastic.
I'm pretty excited for that.
So, speaking of Netflix, actually everything I watched this week was on Netflix. I finished up Sweet Tooth. It
Oh,
was just 3 seasons. You do get closure at the end, so I like that. It was not a you know, Santa Clarita Diet kind of ending. Cobra
right.
Kai, the first half of the new season has come out. They are desperately trying not to repeat the same story that they have every season, but I don't think that that's possible.
I
I
still
really
haven't
don't
watched
think they
Cobra
cannot
Kai
just repeat the
yet.
same stories. So the next part of this season comes out in November, so you could just wait till November at this
Oh, I
point.
can wait. Yeah, I guess I might. I just haven't. I don't know why.
We
haven't been in
started
the
it on the
mood.
plane on the way home,
Ah, that makes sense.
and then I started Umbrella Academy and did not realize how much of season 3. I just don't remember. I'm watching the previously on and I'm like, did I watch the last season?
What the hell happened? Honestly, I watched season 1 and that was all I've ever watched of the show. So,
Season 2 is actually my favorite season. I really liked season 2. Season 3
oh,
was I do remember enjoying it. I do remember being good, and I'm genuinely enjoying season 4, but season 4 starts with a time jump, and, because at the end of season 3, they don't have their powers, and they're in a different timeline, and so this is a time
oh,
jump, so they've been in this new timeline for, like, I think 6 years without their powers, so they it's kinda shows how they've all had to adapt to, civilian life. And of course, if you have powers, you're not going to adapt well to civilian life. But,
no, not at
they're only
all.
going to stay regular civilians for so long. So that's where I'm at. I'm only like 2 episodes in, and
Oh,
that's all I got.
well, nice. Well, let's go into some D23 then, man. We're not even gonna like pause or go into anything. We're gonna dive right into D23. So here's some comic book news, if you will, out of D23. Where Radiant Black, if you know anything about Radiant Black, we actually
This is
had.
non D23 first, and then we'll get into
Oh,
D23.
sorry,
Sorry.
non D23. My apologies. You're right.
Basic
Non
news.
D23. Radiant Black is getting an audiobook. Some of the voice actors will include Jodie from Supernatural and Sean and Eric from Boy Meets World. Radiant Black is an excellent comic book out there. Highly, highly recommend checking that out. Well, there's a trailer that dropped this week, Lauren. Did you watch this trailer?
I did.
All right. Well, take us away. What was
It's
this
not
magnificent
a.
trailer?
So it was Craven the Hunter,
Oh
which
yeah,
we've known was coming for a
woo!
while. This is coming out in December. The trailer wasn't bad, but it was like I felt like they took every cliche scene that's ever been in a superhero trailer and they just used that. Like there wasn't a
That's
single
just Sony,
original
man.
scene in that trailer. But again, it doesn't look bad, and I really like that actor. So I'm hoping
Yeah,
he does a good
Aaron
job.
Taylor
But I'm watching
Johnson.
it.
Yeah, are you
I'm like, oh, I
craving
didn't
some
know.
Craven?
Yeah, and we find out that Zeus was actually Quicksilver's dad. I did not see that coming. That's the one that blew my
Oh,
mind.
we knew about that though.
But the Russell Crowe's playing Zeus
Yeah, we
and
knew Russell
playing
Crowe.
Craven Hunter's dad. I
Well,
wasn't paying
obviously
attention.
it's Sony. We did. No, well,
I,
we knew
yeah,
about that.
I don't know that I'll see this in theaters though. I might wait.
If I have Regal money still, yeah, you know me, I'll be there. I'll bite the bullet. I will. Uh,
Maybe on
I
$5
didn't realize
Tuesdays.
Daryl Dixon has a season 3. I thought the show was over, but season 3 is happening. It's going to start filming in Spain. Did they even ask us to be extras?
So it was funny. I saw the clip today, and it's Daryl and Carol saying we're filming season 3 in Spain, and they're like talking a little bit in like Spanglish. And season 1 I did watch. The whole thing took place in France, and it ended with a cliffhanger that it was very clear that season 2 is happening. As far as I know, season 2 has not started, but there is going to be a season 3. So there you go. And
Oh,
the fact that Carol and Daryl were both saying this, I'm assuming Carol
Carol
is
and
somehow going
Daryl.
to make it to Spain as well.
God, that's
I
the
guess
most redneck
they're
trailer
going to
park
Spain.
names ever. Oh
And it's
god.
funny because they're Carol not so much, but Daryl
No,
definitely is.
it's
But his
just
real name's
well,
Norman, which is so
it is.
not a redneck name. It's
Well,
like
if you say Carol and
a
Daryl
scientist
together, it
name.
sounds very redneck. I don't
Yeah, it
know.
does. I feel like
Oh man,
Carol's the name of every woman in every Christmas movie.
actually true. Any Something is Killing the Children is currently being written. We knew it was being made into a show. We hadn't gotten any updates, but James Tynan the fourth actually posted him working on the script for episode 2. So that is indeed coming. And
Oh,
then
and
what?
he was like in Europe researching stuff.
He was. Oh, dude, that's such a fantastic comic book from Boom
I need to finish
Studios.
that. I think I'm
Good
only
God,
like
it's so
3
good. The
volumes
show,
in.
the show is going to blow our minds. I have no doubt about that. And
That's
another
another
show that's
one.
going to,
Start reading it now. I haven't thought that. I'm like, oh, I need to catch up.
you do, you do.
The
Now we
Penguin
also
series.
got the Penguin. Yes, the Penguin series will begin at 9 p.m. Eastern on HBO Max beginning September 29th. It is obviously set right after the events of the Batman film, and it's going to feature Colin Farrell as Penguin. And then subsequently, there will be an episode every week after that.
I hope that's good. It looks
It
good.
looks so good. Yeah, I'm excited.
So piece of Star Wars news I'm excited about. I think this actually
Ooh.
has been out a little bit, but Mark Hamill pushed it today. New Lego Star Wars is coming to Disney Plus on September 13th, which is also Supernatural and not Scooby Natural, and Scooby Doo Day. They
Ooh,
will be
nice.
rebuilding the galaxy, and it will star Darth Jar Jar, Ewok
Oh
bounty
yeah.
hunters, and a Bizarro Luke. So this
September
is when you're going to
13th
want to tune in for.
is also a
Yep.
Friday the 13th, and that means there's going to be some flash sale for tattoos. And get your tattoos, folks.
Oh,
I'm gonna get some
what a
spooky
perfect day
tattoos
to get
that
a
day.
Supernatural tattoo.
Well, I am. I'm gonna
September
get spooky
13th.
tattoos.
Ah! Okay.
Yeah. All right. D23. We are going to roll into some D23 news now, like we had talked about. So to kick us off, we actually have some news from Disney Legends. Miley Cyrus, Harrison Ford, James Cameron, Angela Bassett, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Frank Oz. Now, Frank Oz was a puppeteer who did Yoda, and they are now Disney Legends.
Dun, dun, dun. I thought Miley Cyrus seemed a bit too young. I always thought Disney Legends.
I was about to say one of those is not like the other, but she was Hannah Montana, dude. I mean,
I guess it's just longevity. Like, you've been doing this long enough. Like, here you go.
Yeah, I guess. Like it was really funny seeing like, wait a second. Yeah, definitely one is not like the other.
Nope.
Oh,
good for her.
Are you singing the song? I thought that was Lizzie McGuire, The Best of Both Worlds. But maybe that is Hannah Montana.
Both worlds, 100%. Because yeah, she was a rock star and an average girl.
Got you. See, I picked up what you was putting down.
Yes. My oldest was a huge Hannah Montana fan. I think I've even mentioned before she had the toothbrush, but like you had to keep brushing your teeth.
It did sing. I knew that. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was sometimes I walk a little faster. And so every morning started with Hannah Montana. So Deadpool was actually made an appearance at D23. I thought that this was fantastic. He comes out and he's dancing, and they have somebody live singing like a prayer. And the only reason I'm really mentioning this is because Deadpool then he pitches an idea, which obviously isn't going to get picked up. And he has like pictures that look like he drew, like you see at the beginning of Deadpool, where it's like, killing Francis. And it's Deadpool and Wolverine eating over a trash can, which has to be at Epcot because that's what everybody does when there's not enough tables. They eat on top of the trash cans. You can even go to Etsy and buy yourself a perfect little tablecloth little setup that fits on the trash cans.
That's hilarious.
And of course, the famous trash can in front of Rose and Crown in the UK is called Binny. So in Disney Day Drinkers, they actually shared Binny made it into D23 with Deadpool and Wolverine. So I thought that was a lot of fun and worth sharing.
What a world we live in, man. I saw a picture of him at Disneyland, and he had Avengers suit on from Endgame, and I was like, this is the timeline.
Deadpool did?
Yeah, I have to find that picture, but like, we're healing, folks. I'm feeling good. We got some friendly neighborhood Spider-Man news as the new animated series is coming to Disney Plus. And also they announced some castings and things like that. I'm pretty excited for that.
A lot of people or a lot of characters.
There is Norman Osborn's going to be in it, for example, and a lot of cool stuff. So there's also some rumors that a series is coming to Disney Plus about White Vision. This did not come up at D23. However, there have been rumors, not exactly sure if it's true, if it's happening. We don't know. I think one of the creators said that White Vision, they're creating a show because he just kind of flew off, and that was that. He just left to go pick up milk and never came back.
I don't want to officially report it until we know for sure, but I felt like I've seen enough people report it that I didn't want it to be like we were in the dark.
Yeah, I think one of the creators or something brought it up, but
so
we'll see.
The new Tron ride has obviously been out at Disney for over a year now, and they just made Jeff Bridges came out with Jared Leto, and they were talking about the third Tron movie, Tron Ares, will be happening. And the soundtrack will be by Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, that's the real story. Like, first of all, screw Jared Leto. Can we just forget him in a trash can? Can we put him in Binny?
I almost didn't list that he was there because I know how much you hate him.
I hate him, man. But Nine Inch Nails is going to be scoring. We know Trent Reznor is obviously, he's not Nine Inch Nails, is he? Trent? I don't know. Oh my God. Everybody, please don't yell at me. I don't know why this is hurting. I know Trent Reznor is a big scoring movies. Sean, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but I'm having a very bad moment. So just yell at us. We'll fix it next week. But I know. Oh God. Oh boy. I'm scared. Let's move on to The Mandalorian Grogu, which featured some footage when it will be coming out May 22nd, 2026. So I guess I have to stay alive until then. There was a teaser trailer, which obviously showed the two of them, showed a lot of action. I'm very curious if this is going to be the end of Mando and Grogu or what's going to happen, because instead of the next season, it's going to be a film. They didn't really give us much other than action. Grogu, yeah. Mando, let's go.
I didn't even watch it. After watching all the trailers for Deadpool and Wolverine and having seen like so many of the scenes beforehand, I'm so over a lot of these trailers. I'll watch the first
That's
one,
fair.
but I just I want to be surprised. I like to have those moments in theaters. However, a trailer I did watch was Star Wars Skeleton Crew series, which will be
How
out on
good does
Disney
that
Plus
look?
on December 3rd. Dude, it looks like Goonies in space.
Yes, it's Star Wars Goonies, and Jude Law's a Jedi. He uses the Force.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but that little elephant-looking character is the cutest thing on earth. I am gonna need that plushie whenever they do eventually come out with that, because you know they're going to, because people are obviously going to gravitate to it. But no, it really is Goonies in space. It looks so cool.
It was funny because that was my first thought. And then I started reading the comments and everybody was like, Goonies, Goonies, Goonies. And then you saw a few Stranger Things. And then somebody wrote, the millennials will say Goonies, Gen Z will say Stranger Things. And I was like, oh, there it is. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but Goonies is more of an impact. Stranger Things, if we ever get the end of that show.
Goonies did it first.
They did. Now, speaking of, Daredevil Born Again Season 1 is coming out in March on Disney Plus. The whole cast was there. Rosario Dawson wasn't. We don't know. She's a night nurse, going to be still. She was connected to Defenders. However,
she was the one that connected all the Defenders. So I feel like she was so important.
She did.
So I hope she does show up.
Foggy, Karen. I did watch this trailer that leaked, and John Bernthal's in the trailer. Bullseye even makes an appearance in jail.
What? Not Colin Farrell.
No.
We never got a Bullseye, did we? We didn't get a Bullseye.
Yeah, we did in the last season of Daredevil. Remember, he fights Bullseye. No.
Apparently, I need to watch it again.
Yeah, he fights Bullseye. It's the same actor. He's in jail in the trailer. They show a brief clip of him. John Bernthal's got his long, shaggy hair. This does have a kind of a continuation from the Netflix series.
The one dude who got his face fucked up?
No, you're thinking Scarface or whatever from Punisher. No.
Yeah, I am the Punisher guy.
He's dead.
Right, I'm just gonna Google it.
Anyways,
go ahead.
Vincent D'Onofrio was like, "Yeah, I'm actually surprised. This is a very bloody show. Some of the things they let us do, like he does apparently something in this show that is, he's like, I'm surprised Marvel even signed off on."
Oh, that dude. Duh. Okay.
Yeah. That dude, that generic white man with blonde hair.
Now I have to rewatch Daredevil. Oh no, that's terrible.
Oh no, what are we gonna do? Of course, we're gonna do a Daredevil episode.
So I saw that too when Vincent D'Onofrio was saying that, and I found that so that's crazy because I remember because Kaylee was watching everything MCU with me, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Peggy Carter. We watched all of it except for the end of Inhumans. So when Daredevil came out, naturally, I had her watch it with me, and then it's the second or third episode where they bash the guy's head in with a bowling ball, and I was like, I think we're going to put a pin on this, and you're going to come back in a few years, and I'm going to watch this without you. So, and I don't remember how old she was at the time, but I mean, she was old enough that she was coming with me to the movies to see all the movies, and that came out after Avengers, so it was after 2012. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I can't. But I mean, if they got Logan and Deadpool on Disney Plus, why the hell not?
Anything's
possible.
Do it.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't care about this next piece of news.
Not creepy.
I don't care. I was surprised by how good it looked, but what is the obsession with Stitch this year?
There's always been an obsession with Stitch because he's so cute and fluffy.
I think maybe I'm the problem. I just never can. I need to go rewatch Lilo and Stitch. Maybe that was one I watched when I was like a grouchy teenager and I just never connected with, but now I need to go back and rewatch because
Stitch is awesome.
Guess I don't care the way everybody else does.
My kids were like making comments one day, like if mom and dad both die, we'll be like Lilo and Stitch and Nani because Kaylee's so much older than Lilo and Logan's like Stitch.
Well, that got
so depressing. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you guys can relate to the movie in that way, even though your parents are still alive. Thanks, guys.
No, it's better than the Batman, I guess, right?
Yeah, Brielle's big into Stitch. Tracy's big into Stitch.
Yeah, like Stitch was on the boat.
Movie. And it was one of the last movies I feel like that was art and not just computer. So
yeah.
I get the hype for Stitch. I'm really glad Stitch isn't creepy. And that will be out summer 2025, it looks like.
We'll have to do an episode on that to make me watch the movie again because I think maybe it's one of those I have to revisit.
You should go to Hawaii and watch it.
There is a Disney boat that goes from Vancouver to Hawaii, Lauren.
There is a Disney resort in Hawaii, Alani.
All right. Anyways, before we start getting crazy now, Ironheart. I can't believe the Ironheart series is actually happening. This is a series along with Armor Wars that has been in the air. We haven't heard anything, but Riri Williams will be making her return. The series is happening. It will come out in 2025. It follows her getting kicked out of MIT. There's some really cool action shots. They did release a trailer. And Will Ramos from Twisters is actually playing the Hood in Ironheart. So I'm actually pretty excited. I liked Riri. I'm excited to kind of follow along and get some more from her character. I was very not sure if they were going to do this show. So
Right.
it's a pleasant surprise, man. I hope Armor Wars is another one that pops up as still happening. It feels like Marvel's really kind of finding their footing again, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Secret Invasion, I feel like was just not great, and I really hope that they learn. I mean, because you had Samuel L. Jackson and the Sonya Fallsworth was
How do you
fantastic, and it still
squander
wasn't
that?
great. Right. Exactly.
And
You
Amelia
still have Ben
Clark.
Mendelsohn, and yeah, and you squandered it. Yeah. So I have high hopes for Ironheart. I really hope that it's really good because I want a lot of people to eat their words. But I loved her in Wakanda Forever. I've enjoyed. I've only read a few comics
Yeah,
that are in them, but I enjoyed the ones that I read. So I'm looking
same,
forward to that.
same.
Why don't you take the next news? Because I don't care.
Oh man, I'm really excited. Percy Jackson season 2 is coming in 2025. They're filming now. I'm a big Percy Jackson fan. You know, I rave about the books. You know, I raved about the show. The way it ended, of course, it was going to get a season 2, but it will be happening. Official, a little bit of a teaser trailer. It didn't really give us any footage. I'm not entirely sure if they're actually even filming yet, but it will be coming out. And for one, I'm really excited. Now you can take this next piece of news because you know I don't give a fuck about this
I
one.
don't really either. Well, and shout out to Percy Jackson. It's not that I don't care. I just never got into it, but shout out to Rick Riordan. He got both my daughters into reading. So thank you, Rick Riordan.
All
And
right,
Percy Jackson was the book
me
they both fell in love with.
me and the girls are gonna go see Percy Jack. Oh wait, this isn't coming to theaters. Never mind. You know what? They'll come on the podcast then. Never
Kaylee had
mind.
a watch party for the first one. So Avatar Fire and Ash is coming December 19th, 2025.
Oh
I'll probably watch
yeah,
it once and never again,
I'm really
just like I
excited
did
for
the last
that.
two.
I'm
What about
not.
Freaky Friday 2? That's
Okay,
Freakier Friday that will be out in 2025. Are you excited for that?
actually yes, because Freaky Friday 1 is a gem of a movie. I love Jamie Lee Curtis, and honestly, not for nothing, man. It's really exciting to see Lindsay Lohan coming back into movies again. Like she disappeared for a while. She went through some stuff, you know, as a lot of child stars kind of do. And it's really cool that they're making a sequel. Do you know who's actually going to be in this? Manny Jacinto from The Acolyte in The Good Place is going to be Lindsay
Duval.
Lohan's husband in this movie. So
Didn't she date Chad Michael Murray in the first one or no? Is that a different movie?
no, it
It's been
is.
a long
Yeah,
time.
no, it is because Chad Michael Murray was head over heels for Jamie Lee Curtis. Remember, he was like trying to
Uh,
like ask her out on a date, but it was actually Lindsay Lohan in the body, all that stuff.
I
Yeah, that
don't
was
remember
so.
that,
It
but I
was
do
it
remember
was Chad
Chad
Michael
Michael
Murray.
Murray.
It was
I'd like
Chad
to see
Michael
him
Murray.
back and stuff. He's aged quite beautifully.
He pops in here and there. He still does some things.
So there's a new another rock movie coming to Disney called Win or Lose about monster trucks. It will be animated.
Yeah,
Inside Out is getting a Dreamland spinoff called Dream Productions.
awesome. Inside
Another
Out's great.
new one, Elio, will follow a young boy who accidentally becomes Earth's ambassador to an alien. We
Uh,
shall see that.
this this next
See,
one
we shall
is an
see how that
interesting
works out.
concept for me. Hoppers is going to be coming out. It introduces us to Mabel, a young girl who transfers her conscience into a robot beaver in order to learn more about beavers because somebody's trying to like kill the beavers or take over their land or something. They gave us a
Interesting choice of
trailer.
animal.
I just think of Angry Beavers,
Do
the
you think there will
show.
be two beavers because two beavers are better than one?
Maybe. I don't know. Like it is an interesting like
Thought I was
I'm
doing a How I Met Your Mother reference.
oh
You're
sorry.
supposed to get excited.
I just told you I was thinking about Angry Beavers. I wasn't in How I Met Your Mother. I'm sorry. You're right. I failed you. I failed you. Apparently, it's not
Failed
supernatural to me.
yourself.
I failed
That's what you
myself.
failed. All
Yeah,
right,
no,
so
I know Harper's going to be excited for this next one. You know, I'm going to be seated in 2027 when, oh God, she's going to be 9 years old. Let's not do this right now. Frozen 3 is coming out in 2027. My kids are going to be old. Uh, Moving along.
I guess
What
gonna be
else is coming
24.
out? Wow, why is it 2027? They've been talking about Frozen 3 forever. Is it really coming out that long? Jeez.
Apparently. Zootopia 2, November 2025. Toy Story 5, summer 2026. Which is insane because the first one came out in 1995. Incredibles
I
3 is
don't agree with Toy
happening.
Story still going on, but you know, if there's a good story, you know, we're
Yeah,
going to
you
be
know,
in
unless you're
there.
gonna have
I don't
Andy's
know, man.
kids, I don't really care. I mean, not that I don't care about Bonnie. Like I've enjoyed the holiday specials and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I,
I guess we'll see.
I don't like that you can't buy toys that say Andy on the bottom of the foot anymore. They all say
That's
Bonnie.
true. Ew, stupid. What a crush to the childhood, man.
And this is the greatest show. The Greatest Showman is coming to Broadway as a musical. That sounds like fun.
Um, Yeah, actually, I think I'd go to that. I'd go to that. Just like the Disney Destiny's getting Hercules as a Broadway show, which is my favorite Disney movie of all time. I'm into
Hercules.
that.
Okay, so there is some park news stuff too that we're going to go over. Yeah. Okay. So as far as the park stuff, they did announce some stuff in Asia and in Paris, but we're probably going to stick to the parks in the States. I don't know how many listeners we have that are traveling to those places. If you're heading to the parks in Asia soon, there is some Spider-Man stuff coming. So we don't know what actually is going to happen, as obviously the Mary Poppins ride in Epcot never happened. The new area that just opened in the Epcot Center is very underwhelming and doesn't look like the concept art. So who knows what's going to happen? However, Cosmic Rewind came out and it's pure perfection. So
It's
starting
true.
with Magic Kingdom, we are getting 2 new Cars attractions in Frontierland. They will replace
I'm so
Tom
excited.
Sawyer Island, though, and Rivers of America.
I don't
This
care.
means
Cars is my favorite ride at Disneyland, dude.
the
That dine.
riverboat zoo will
Oh,
close. Okay, so we only go to Magic Kingdom maybe 2, 3 times a year max. So it's not a park we frequent. But my kids love Tom Sawyer Island. Kaylee has always loved Tom Sawyer Island. It's like,
okay, that's fair. It has a kid connection. All right, I got you.
yeah, and it's I feel like it's very underrated because people, you got to take the little boat over there, and the kids just love running through there and running on the things. And I always felt like just have a concession stand over there and people will hang out longer. It's
Actually,
such
yeah,
an awesome area to just hang out.
yeah.
So, okay, so other things coming to Magic Kingdom, Villains Land. This will actually be behind Thunder Mountain, and it will be built on currently undeveloped land. We're going to be getting 2 rides, and it looks like a dining spot. People are already saying there better be an Emperor's New Groove ride, or this is a complete waste because they literally have a roller
I'm
coaster in that
surprised they don't.
movie.
Emperor's New Groove is like one of the most
I feel like it's still very
popular
underrated.
movies. Yeah, like it's both like underrated and most popular, I feel like, because
Or they need like a
everybody loves the
drop,
Emperor's New Groove. Even my
or like,
father-in-law, who hates Disney, loves Emperor's New Groove.
oh, I mean, we actually watched it on the Mickey boat one night. It's so just underrated. But it may be funny if they had a drop one too that's like, pull the lever, crank. And then as you fall, you
Kronk.
just hear wrong lever. Uh, but we're getting a dining place too, so I'm sure there better be a bar or something. I kind of feel like this is a terrible park for the Villains Land because I feel like the grown-ups are really the ones that want the villains, and those are the same people that want the cocktails.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, so more on alcohol. Let's talk about rum.
Ooh,
All over
yes.
near the pirate ride, you see barrels and rum references and all this stuff. Well, apparently they are getting a tavern in the pirates area. I don't know if there will be alcohol. People are speculating it might be like an Oga's Cantina where you have the 45
Why
ml
is the
limit.
rum
That's it.
gone?
However, when they were doing all the stuff for New Fantasyland, they had Gaston's Tavern, and I got so excited when I saw the
Oh.
concept art because there was kegs everywhere and everybody was drinking beer. And then it comes out and it's LeFou's Brew, which tastes kind of like butter beer, but not as good. So I'm hoping this isn't a
Yeah.
big tease again. Magic Kingdom's also getting a new nighttime parade called Disney Starlight. It will debut.
Okay.
It will debut in the summer 2025, and Kanto is in some of the images. So, do you want to tell us what's coming to
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios in
Yeah.
Florida?
So Hollywood Studios, which can Mickey's Runaway Train, where Lauren loves that ride, and then also Galaxy's
Nope,
Edge,
bring back the
it's
Great Movie
getting
Ride. God, I'm becoming one of those.
it's getting Monsters Inc., which is a suspended roller coaster based on the door scene from the film. They did not say where it will go. However, some speculation is that the Muppets 3D is done for, which will crush Carrie's soul. Don't let her know. Toy Story Land is already there, so it has a little bit of a Pixar area. Hollywood Studios has land. You don't have to replace stuff. Lord and I agree. You don't have to replace anything. Just kind of put it in there, man. You got plenty of space.
I mean,
If
I'm all
not,
for, like, conserving the land and not just bulldozing everything, but they do have areas.
right.
There was the summer after Frozen came out, they had a whole building where you could pay to go ice skating, and, like, you could also like, we went in there and they had fake
Yeah.
snow. We built little snowmen. In July, we were building snowman. They did a whole, like, ice skating thing. I don't know if that's still there once they added Toy Story Land, but
It's not, but I mean, they absolutely have land. They trust me, if it was there, we would have been there. But they do, and
I
I agree
do
with
like
you.
this idea, though. Like,
They should actually
I remember
replace the
watching the
Indiana
movie and
Jones
thinking
show.
this would be a great ride.
Yeah, they should really
Yes,
should
they should.
replace the Indiana Jones. The parks, not what it used to be. The show is really outdated. Honestly, honest to God, I love Indiana Jones, but like it is outdated for the current Disney crowd, in my opinion.
And if
And
you've
if you've
seen it
seen it
once, you've seen it.
once, you really don't need to go again. I fully agree with that. Um, Aside from
Sorry,
that,
Indy.
Smuggler's Run will be getting Mando and Grogu editions at Galaxy's Edge. everywhere across. It's not themed to Batu. However, I very curious if it's going to coincide with the movie. Is it a hint? Will this be Teenage Grogu, Old Man Mando, post sequels? Nobody knows yet.
They've really
Batu is
kept,
technically post sequels, but Kylo's alive, so
but they've kept it in that era. Like you
they
can't, if you want to
have.
see Vader and everything, you have to leave Galaxy's Edge. So I thought that that was interesting.
It is interesting. I
Well,
don't know. Tell us about Animal Kingdom since you love
speaking
Animal
of, yeah,
Kingdom.
of Indy, he's not going anywhere. So Animal Kingdom announcements did happen a while ago, but they sound like they're definitely happening and they will be debuting in 2027 as the Dino area will become a South America themed area. So the Dino Land
Ooh.
area is ironically going extinct. The dinosaur ride is becoming the Indiana Jones ride. We're also getting Encanto and Zootopia. But if you've ever been on the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland and the dinosaur ride at Animal Kingdom, you know they're the same tracks. But they said they are not going to make the same ride at Disneyland. It will be a different theme, but again, it is the same track. Um, I'm not sure exactly what the Zootopia thing is, but it's called Better Zoogether, and it will be opening next winter. So December 2025, March 2026. I don't know. It almost looked like a show. If you did know, let us know. Or if you did hear, let us know.
Yeah.
As far as this whole area, though, is going to be called Pueblo Esperanza, meaning Village of Hope. And
Yeah, that's exciting.
they're going to have a ride inside of Casita, or is that how you say it?
Ooh. I don't know.
Casita, the Madrigal house. And that's going to be based on Antonio's bedroom because obviously he's the kid that can talk to animals. I'm assuming that's going to go where that giant, terrible, had to be super tall dinosaur ride was. It's been down forever.
Yeah.
And any annual pass holders right now until I think September 22nd, you can get a Pumbaa and Timon magnet. So head there now. I'm sure they're trying to get everybody to go there because nobody's going to Animal Kingdom right now. And I do wonder if they're going to change the freaking signs at Animal Kingdom already because they have a dragon on those signs.
Yeah.
That they never got rid of. And now people are like, well, I guess it's a banshee. And now they're like, are you going to take your dinosaurs down? Are you going to take these dragons down ever? Like, are you broke? You can't afford to replace these signs that have been up
Yeah.
since the park opened in like 98 or whatever.
I don't know.
So Epcot just got a full, remodel, but they will also now be getting a Spaceship Earth lounge, which I'm all for.
I'm for it. Yeah. Disneyland's actually going to be getting a Coco ride at Disneyland California Adventures. Is it in the Mexico Pavilion? Like, where is it going to be? We're not really sure.
Because they had talked about doing the Mexico Pavilion and having it be a Coco refurbishment of the Three Caballeros. I don't know that that's still happening, but Disneyland's getting a Coco ride, so
I'm excited for Coco. I love Coco, man. I love it. Mi amor, mi amor. Disneyland is also getting the first ever Walt animatronic. It will debut in 2025 in A Magical Life inside the Main Street Opera House in rotation with great moments with Mr. Lincoln. So that mark your calendars. 2025 is going to be a big Disney year. Disneyland's Tiana retheming of Splash Mountain will officially open on November 15th. They have beignets already. Pretty excited for that. Disneyland Paris is getting a Lion King attraction at Disney's Adventure World. Lauren wants to be angry at this, but they have Animal Kingdom with a Lion King hotel. So how really angry can you get? They're also getting a Frozen area. There are some Marvel additions to some of the Asia parks. If anybody's gone there, let us know.
They do look pretty cool.
But basically, if you mark your calendars 3 years from now, listen to this podcast again, because we will be around till we're 90, folks. We'll see what happens and see what's delayed and what actually happened in 2025 and what came out in 2027. Who knows? Mark your calendars. But that's pretty much our D23 news. Next week, we will have a Supernatural update, maybe another topic. We will Beetlejuice getting ready to come out in a couple weeks, so we'll see what's going on. We're going to be rolling into September pretty soon. So with that said, I just mentioned Beetlejuice. Agatha is getting ready to drop soon, so we're going to be talking about that. Beetlejuice. And yeah, honestly, if you say pumpkin spice 3 times in the mirror, I will actually appear. Speaking of which, pumpkin spice drops this week at Starbucks. No big deal. And then after that, dude, it's spooky season. So,
I didn't know this.
22nd of August. Pumpkin spice is back at Starbucks, babies. And we're starting a little earlier because I think
this year.
September, we're soft rolling into spooky season this year, man. Beetlejuice is September 6th. Right, Agatha comes out. So we're soft rolling into spooky season a little early, but you can never, ever have too much spooky season. Football season's upon us. Everybody, thank you all for hanging out. Like I said, if we messed anything up, come let us know. We will catch you guys next week with more fantastic episodes. Like, subscribe, share. Cantina Hours all of the above. Patreon.com. We do monthly movie nights, ad-free episodes for our Patreons, and some more other goodies. But we will see you guys soon. D23. Excellent. Cannot wait to see what comes out. And until next week, folks, we'll see you later.